if you're running from the bear, your body will not take the time to make hair. I just made a rhyme. If you're running from the bear, your body won't take the time to make hair. It will keep you running from the bear so that you outlive it. Okay, let's talk about shampoos. I get comments about my hair. I love my hair. I feel like I'm blessed with good hair, but I also know that my gut has a whole lot to do with it. Welcome to the Let's Talk Shit podcast. I am your host, Lisa Garrett. I am a wife, mom of 4 boys, 2 German Shepherds, and I'm a gut and psychology practitioner. Look, I know you've done all the things with diet and exercise, and I also know that your health means the world to you. I'm going to show you how your gut health is the game changer to your weight, your confidence, and your stamina. So if you're ready to become the shit in your life, then let's jump in. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Shit. I am your host, Lisa Garrett, and today we are talking all things hair. Hair. It is one of the biggest complaints I hear with my clients is my hair is thinning. I'm losing my hair. I don't know what's going on. And this usually happens for women 45 and over. So I want to give you some of my own strategies and tell you how it relates to gut health and some things that you can do right now. That doesn't mean that if you do it today, your hair is going to grow back tomorrow, but it is the cumulative efforts of what you're doing for your gut, which will help produce more hair growth. Okay, so first of all, I had to write some notes down. So if you see me looking off to the right, if you're watching this, it's because I just had to organize my thoughts because I was all over the board. So first of all, you have to know that your hair is your last priority in your body. So your body will always take care of organs first, heart, brain, all of it, lungs, you name it. Hair is way down on the list. So if your nutrients are low because your gut is a mess, then your body just says, the hair growth is going to come last. And then you get hair that breaks, you get thinning hair, you're shedding, there's a lot of hair in the shower, maybe you have some early gray coming in, or maybe your hair is brittle or just doesn't grow fast at all. My hair is thick, it grows super fast. I have gone through periods of my life where I was shedding, especially after I had my boys. I mean, I would just be like clumps of it. And so if you're, noticing a lot of hair in the shower or when you're putting that comb through your hair or your fingers and you're always pulling off hair, you have to look at what are you eating? What are you eating? And then second, is your gut a mess? And if you don't have the typical signs and symptoms, bloat, gas, and all that stuff, shedding hair is definitely linked to poor nutrient absorption because your hair follicles definitely need protein. You know that. But they also need iron and zinc, biotin, magnesium, and B vitamins. Ironically, all of those are linked to rebuilding the gut. That's how you rebuild your gut with all of those vitamins and minerals I just talked about. The number one thing is protein. And I know probably people eat plenty of protein. But are you eating the proteins that your body wants? So if you have an issue with eggs, a perfectly great protein, but you get a stomach ache or you get sick of them, but you eat them because your trainer told you to, or, they're a great food, and they are. But if you don't digest and absorb them, then you are missing out on those amino acids to build hair and the B vitamins that are in there to build hair and the iron that's in there to build hair. You're missing out on 3 key things if you're eating the wrong protein. So this is where you got to know what are your best proteins. If your gut lining is irritated, you probably notice gas, bloat, the toggle of the bathroom habits, maybe heartburn. If you have any of those things and you have the shedding of your hair, then that is a really good sign that you've got to get your gut in check. And chronic inflammation doesn't stand a chance in the body. It's going to show in your skin. Your skin's going to look dry. Your hair's going to be maybe thin, shedding, falling out, brittle, breaking. I know people who can't wash their hair for 7 days because their hair breaks so much. Okay. Here's the thing with chronic inflammation. It raises your cortisol, which is a stress hormone. Okay. And that high inflammation equals high cortisol. Your hair gets stuck in that phase for as long as that cortisol is elevated. So if you're in this fight or flight, running from the bear all the time, not sleeping, not eating very good, eating very little, not eating enough protein, not eating the right proteins, not having enough greens so that you can get all those vitamins. Maybe you're anemic. Maybe you have a thyroid issue. Maybe you have PCOS, hormonal imbalances. All those things create chronic inflammation in the body, chronic cortisol. That keeps you stuck in the ugly hair phase that you don't like, shedding, thinning, brittle hair, okay? So the more hair you see in the drain, on the brush, on the comb, on the bathroom floor, the more you have to take care of your gut. I remember when I had our fourth son, I was on the verge. I was severely anemic. This is before I knew I had celiac. 4 kids, anemic. I'm sure my thyroid was just starting to, go south. And I remember just clumps of hair on the bathroom floor. And then my husband saying, Lisa, take the hair out of the drain. And I would, try to do it. But my hair, has always been fairly long, and it just clogs a drain like no other. It's too bad I couldn't bottle like my hair. I mean, you could almost floss your teeth with my hair. It's so coarse. I know that's gross. But an unhealthy gut can totally disrupt how your body processes all of your hormones. So I mentioned PCOS, I mentioned thyroid, and blood sugar. So blood sugar in the form of insulin, that's your fat storing hormone. Estrogen is linked to PCOS, not fibromyalgia, and then thyroid hormones. That's a big one. That is really linked to a lot of hair loss. But you can't just take biotin. You can't just take collagen. If your gut is the least bit leaky, it cannot absorb that biotin supplement. It cannot absorb all the collagen that you're consuming. You have to go deeper than the surface. And when you do, and your hair starts coming in more, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I hit the jackpot. Then the body starts regulating. And I bet other things regulate, like your weight, your sleep, other things regulate as well. So blood sugar spikes. Let's talk about that. So if you're a person who has hypoglycemia, or you just have these intense sugar cravings are linked back to gut health too. That's your microbiome craving sugar and tilting that gut-brain axis saying, hey, I want more sugar because I've got to feed this bacteria to keep it thriving. When your gut biome is not full of sugar, you don't crave it. Okay, a cookie might sound good. I don't know, chocolate might sound good, but you don't I've worked with clients that just have intense sugar cravings, and you have to know those sugar cravings absolutely come from a dysregulation of your insulin, but also from the bacteria that is saying, feed me. Okay. So if you're eating more processed foods than you should, if you are not eating enough real food, just remember that inflammation is silent and deadly, and how it moves throughout the body. It literally can shrink hair follicles. Isn't that scary? So when you have an autoimmune disease or a thyroid disease or, PCOS, and, you're losing your hair and you're trying all these meds, and some people are losing their hair because they're on all these medications. Those medications are creating inflammation as well. quite possibly. Okay. So when you stabilize your blood sugar, you have happier hair follicles. Remember, your hair is the last thing to get nutrients because the organs take priority. And after that, it's skin and muscles and bones. Hair is last. It's last. And if you want it to be first, you have to put your gut first. Okay, so let's talk about some foods that actually heal your gut. And I'm not even talking supplements. I'm talking foods. Bone broth. Why? Because it has naturally occurring collagen in there. Okay, so everybody and many of my clients, everybody's doing collagen to rebuild your gut. Perfect. I always tell my clients, how do you know you're absorbing the collagen? When you notice your fingernails or your hair or your toenails are growing faster. And let me tell you, if you have thinning hair or hair that breaks and all of a sudden you notice it's growing, it's growing. You've hit the jackpot. That means you're absorbing that collagen. So bone broth is huge for collagen. It's way better than a collagen supplement because it's food. Your body knows exactly what to do with it. Let's talk about eggs. I feel the eggs are the most perfect food if they're perfect for you. Remember the slogan, the incredible edible egg? What a great marketing plan. It's still sticking with me after, I guess, 40 years. I don't know when it was out. But eggs are high in biotin. Okay, biotin helps build hair follicles. It's one of those vitamins I talked about, one of those minerals. And it also is high in protein. However, if you cannot digest and absorb eggs, then those eggs aren't going to be good for your hair. So go back to the bone broth, which almost everybody can do, unless you have a histamine issue. If you have a histamine issue, there are some ways around that because I'm working with some clients who do have histamine issues, and their bone broth has to be right then and there. It can't be heated up several days later because histamines build up. So that's where actually a collagen supplement might work better. It depends on where you're at with the histamines. If you don't even know what I'm talking about, drink some bone broth and you're totally fine. Okay, pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are really high in zinc and magnesium. Okay, remember I mentioned zinc, magnesium, biotin, protein. Those things are awesome for building new hair. Okay, this one you may or may not like, salmon and sardines. I know pretty much everybody likes salmon. If you don't, that's okay. But sardines, both are really high in omega-3s. Now, while they don't help directly build, they are protein, so that helps, but they lower the inflammation in the body. So if you have this low level of inflammation going on because you have Hashimoto's, PCOS, fibromyalgia, chronic heartburn, osteoarthritis, ulcerative colitis, mast cell activation, histamines, all of it, celiac, Crohn's, all IBS, IBS-C, all the things. If you have, or even you have daily constipation and you don't have a diagnosis, there's your diagnosis right there. You have constipation. If you're not eliminating at least once every 24 hours, you are constipated in some way. So this is where sardines and salmon lower inflammation and they actually give your hair a chance to grow. Okay, so you can take cod liver, you can take turmeric. Those things are great for lowering inflammation. But if you can get it from food, all the better. Your body will always 2,000% prefer food over a supplement, even the best of the supplements. Now, there are whole food-based supplements that actually have plant and animal parts in there. That I like to call nutrition on a spoon. But that's not all of the supplements out there. I just put a post out today about magnesium. And there's a magnesium from Standard Process called EZ Mag. And it is literally made from buckwheat and Swiss chard. That's it. So when you take that capsule of dried buckwheat and dried Swiss chard. Your body's like, hey, we got a bunch of magnesium. Let's frickin' go. And then your body jams on it. And it's much easier for your body to assimilate than it is in a supplement labeled magnesium, which doesn't have any food in it. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. Leafy greens. Leafy greens, everybody knows they should be eating more. Everybody. But what you probably don't know is that leafy greens are high in folate, and folate is needed to make more hair follicles. It's also high in magnesium. So see, for some of these, you're going to get magnesium, which actually will calm down the stress response in your body, bring that cortisol down a little bit, and stop you from running from the bear in your life that you're running from all day and all night. I cannot tell you enough. When your stress is at an all-time high and you're up here with your stress, your cortisol stays up there, there is no way your body will grow hair or better skin at all. At all. Because if you're in the fight or flight mode of running from the bear, guess what your body is saying? Oh, well, you got to run from the bear. You want to fucking get eaten by the bear. You got to run from the bear. So your body's not going to make hair. It's going to keep you running from the bear. So figure out a way to control your stress. And if you don't think you're stressed, you're probably like everybody. Nobody thinks they're stressed until they start losing their hair. The ultimate stress that I experienced, besides having my kids, which was all hormonally based. I mean, having a baby just does that. You have, all these hormones, and then you have the baby, and then your whole body just does this 180. Was when I lost a friend of mine, and I mentioned this in a much earlier podcast. She died at my aerobic studio, and I did CPR on her, and she was at the time 28. No, I was 28. She was like 32. And, several weeks after the funeral and stuff, I was still, going back to my aerobic studio. And I loved my aerobic studio. The name was The Upbeat. For those of you who came to the studio, you remember those awesome street jam classes and step classes. And I trained basketball teams and hockey teams, and we were on the news. We were like the shit in aerobics. We were the shit. Anyway, when Nancy passed away, I had never done CPR on someone who actually died right there. I was only 28, so it was a real stressor for me. And then I just lost the hair in the back of my head to the tune of like an egg. So I used to wear my hair up in a ponytail, as I still do. And one of my clients said, you have a bald spot. And I reached back and, oh my gosh, did I have a bald spot? And I had no idea. I was so grateful that she told me. But I just remember back then thinking, wow, this is about Nancy's death. And I wasn't sleeping. I suppose there might have been some trauma involved in that because we had to call the paramedics. I had to come in and shock her. And she died in my studio, and then I'd turn around and go back to work there. And it was just weird. It was, to have somebody in your step class and then, 2 minutes after it ended, she drops dead. It's just bizarre. So if you don't think you're stressed, think about the things that stress you out. Maybe it's money, relationships, your weight, your health, your kids, your parents, your spouse, your partner, your job, somebody in your family, whatever it is. Like, it's a good idea just to write those things down and then acknowledge them. And then when those things come up, have a plan. I just talked to a client today, and she has one of those vibration kind of plates that are new. And when you do a vibration plate, it actually, in layman's terms, kind of rattles the neurons and creates new neural pathways in your brain. So I told her, when you feel like you're stressed out about this in your life, go downstairs and hop on that vibration plate for 2 minutes if you can't get out and walk, and just shift away from the thing that is stressing you. Because, you can acknowledge it, but you don't have to sit with it forever. And if you're watching this on YouTube or anything, I keep seeing an orb around my head. I feel like it's my friend Nancy, who actually died February 25th, 1995. So 31 years ago. Is that right? Am I doing the math right? So stress, big thing. Remember, if you're running from the bear, your body will not take the time to make hair. I just made a rhyme. If you're running from the bear, your body won't take the time to make hair. It will keep you running from the bear so that you outlive it. Okay, let's talk about shampoos. I get comments about my hair. I love my hair. I feel like I'm blessed with good hair, but I also know that my gut has a whole lot to do with it. Oh, there just went another orb. Hi, Nancy. First of all, this is my natural color. I have dark brown, almost black hair, but not black. I do not have black hair. I was born with a lot of hair. My mom always tells me in the first month I had to get a haircut, she said. Fun. My hair by nature is curly, like kinky curly, really curly. And I love curly hair when I see it on other people. For some reason, I don't feel great in it. I don't know why. So I like to straighten it. And here's the caveat. I only wash my hair twice a week because, not that I like a dirty scalp, and yes, I work out plenty, but I don't want my hair getting too dry because I have very coarse hair. So that's a fix right there. If you're washing your hair every day, you are washing out the natural oils that are in your hair to keep it soft, to help it to grow. And it took a friend of mine who was in hair said, don't wash your hair every day. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to. She goes, no, you don't. You're stressing your hair out by washing it every day. Makes sense. I mean, you can wet it down, but when you're putting those harsh shampoos on there, which also leads me to the next point, those can be very inflammatory. You think about being in the shower, sudsing up, your head with all this shampoo that's probably toxic. Mine is. I was using a really natural shampoo and my hair was so dull. My hairdresser's like, girl, what are you doing to your hair? I was like, well, she goes, stop using it. You have to use the toxic shit on your hair. And I was like, okay. But here's the thing. When you only wash your hair twice a week, I can kind of get away with that. But one of the things that is interesting is that when you're sudsing up in the shower with all that shampoo, which is probably toxic, and the heat from the shower, you're inhaling that. And that's not good. So I suggest get in there, scrub your scalp. That's what shampoo is. It's to scrub your scalp and rinse it off as soon as you can. And if you can hold your breath for any of that, do it. Because the fumes from the toxic shampoo that you're putting on your head, some of that, gets into the bloodstream because our skin is just a barrier. And then I don't use any shampoo, like twice a week, that's it. And then I put this stuff, sometimes I put argan oil in my hair and that's it. I just put a little bit, a dime size, and rake it through my hair. I don't use a lot of product. I rarely use a hairspray. Sometimes I will. It's toxic. I try and buy a better one, but hairspray is hairspray. If I need my hair to not be crazy. But I think in general, you need to know that your hair is the last thing to get nutrients. And if your gut is a mess, all the organs are going to take precedence before your hair. And your hair's not going to look the way you want. And hair defines us, makes us feel good. Nobody likes thinning hair. Nobody likes hair that's broken. It just is, it's so us. It's such a female thing. And I think it's a man thing too. But it's just more common that men would have balding. Oh, there's that orb again. She's here. But take care of your gut and you'll have better hair. That's the bottom line. So if you're eating processed foods, you're going to have crappy processed hair. And if you want better foods, if you want better hair, eat better foods. Had I not taken care of my gut for the length of time that I have, and I still do every day, gut health is what's on my plate. I could eat a million different things, and I always choose like a sauerkraut. Eggs work for me. Meat, primarily on a bone, works for me. I eat a lot of protein. I do a lot of magnesium, even through electrolytes, which helps so much. So I do a lot of B vitamins. One of the things you could do if you're worried about your hair is get your B vitamins checked. And if you're deficient, a shot of B12 isn't great. Up your B vitamins. That's all your animal protein. That is all of the animal protein. Eat more of it. You need about 1 gram for every kilogram of body weight. So if you weigh, let's say you take your body weight, you divide it by 2.2. Let's say you weigh 56 kilograms. I don't know what that is. What is that? Like 100 and something, 120 or whatever pounds. Let's say you weigh 75 kilograms. You need at least 75 grams of protein to support what you have. But it's not just the number. It's about what you're putting in your body. I hear people say all the time, I can tolerate a little bit of dairy. No, you can't. I can tolerate eggs twice a week. No, you can't. Because it's just like either you're pregnant or you're not. You can't, if you can only tolerate it a little bit, you can't tolerate it. It's just your body's built up a tolerance for it, but that doesn't mean your body likes it. That means your body's used to it, and the body will adapt because you have an awesome body. And so you have to tell your body, good job, body, way to adapt for my nonsense. But your body will flip the other way and adapt if you figure out, are eggs good for me? What kind of proteins are the best for me? How do you know that? You come into my Simply the Best program. That's how you know that. Or you can go get a bunch of tests. But if you get a bunch of tests, you still have to know. You still need a plan. You know, that's what I love about tests. They'll give you all the information, but you still need a plan. So you can get food sensitivity tests right and left. You can figure it out from there. But you can also be your own best judge and just, if you know eggs are pissing off your gut, don't eat them. Find another protein. If you know that, I don't know, eating pizza and drinking beer on Fridays makes you feel bloated and blah, and you don't poop the next day, don't do it. That's the inflammation that keeps the cortisol high, that keeps your hair from growing. Yeah, it's a really simple concept. Everybody wants the magic supplement for hair growth, and there isn't one. You can take all the biotin that you want. You can do the hair stuff. And all the special shampoos, bullshit. That's total bullshit. I don't believe it. I don't believe the before and afters. I don't believe it at all. It's nonsense. Hair growth comes from inside. It does not come from the outside. It comes from inside, and you know that. So don't buy the expensive shampoos. Buy the shampoo that you like. Scrub your scalp. Rinse it off as soon as you can in the shower. Move on down the road. Wash your hair less and nourish the shit out of your gut. Nourish it, nourish it, nourish it. Because your gut holds the key to better hair growth. I know you all know someone you can share this episode with. So hit that share button right now. Send it to somebody right now and say, hey, I just listened to this. Whether it's your mom, your sister, your friend, brother, whatever it is. Somebody who's under a lot of stress and they keep wondering why their hair is falling out, but you don't want to say, hey, girl, you're under a lot of stress. You might have to be the friend that tells her that, because nobody sees stress coming. It's a boulder we are running from all the time, and nobody feels like they're running from it. Nobody says, yes, I am running from a boulder. No one says that unless it's so obvious, like you didn't sleep well, or you just got fired, or you just got divorced. Those are, but even then, people keep that stiff upper lip. I'm okay. Because if you tell yourself you're okay, you're going to be okay. That is very true. You still have to deal with the nonsense. And your body knows differently. You can say you're okay all day long, but your body knows stress, and you cannot hide it. It cannot hide anywhere. Your body finds it, and it knows it, and it responds, and you have to say, thank you, body. You are so freaking awesome. Thank you for protecting me. So when your hair's not growing, it's because your body's protecting your organs. When your hair is thinning and shedding, it's because that inflammation is so high. Your body's busy doing other things. It's asking for better nutrition. And it starts with your gut. I hope this helps. I hope you love it. I hope you share it. Until next time. Hey, before you go, would you like to receive my ultimate gut repair guide for free? This guide has everything you need to know about leaky gut, what's causing it, how it's affecting your daily life, a meal plan, and 5 ways you can start healing your gut today. This is the same framework that my VIP clients use when they start healing their gut. It's amazing. All you have to do is leave an honest review of Let's Talk Shit, screenshot it, share it to your Instagram stories, and tag me at Lisa Garrett Nutrition. I hope today's episode inspired you to make some shit happen in your life because you're freaking awesome. And I cannot wait to connect with you next time on Let's Talk Shit.